This is your Saturday news package weekend report on the Nigerian Television Authority NTA Ilorin. Good evening and welcome. I am Kehinde Omolosho. An outlook of tonight's package. Over 66,000 pupils sit for placement examination in junior secondary schools for the 2023-2024 academic session. We have a review of some reports that made headlines during the week. Our focus on the discussion segment tonight is the distribution of palliatives by the state government to cushion the effects of subsidy removal, plus updates from the world of entertainment and sports. All this and more shortly. Do stay tuned. Over 66,000 pupils from public and private schools across the 16 local government areas in Kwara State sat for the placement examination into Junior Secondary School 1 of the 2023-2024 academic session. The examination, funded by the Kwara State government, was conducted without any hitch. Abdulwahid Bibiri has the details.
Public and private primary school pupils in Kwara State converge on different examination designated centers across the state for the exercise. At some of the centers visited in Ilorin, the process began with distribution of examination materials to the supervisors at the State Ministry of Education and Human Capital Development. Their examination began at the stipulated time of 9 a.m. in most of the centers monitored. The pupils were asked questions on English language, mathematics, and general paper. I stumbled on the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Human Capital Development, Kemi Adeosun, who led other officials of the ministry on monitoring and assessment, as well as the Director, Curriculum and Assessment, Abdulkadir Shehu, who spoke on the conduct of the examination.
The centers are calm and the students are the pupils are in the hall in the exam or writing their exams. There have not been any report of maybe question papers are not enough or answer sheets are not enough. We have been on our toes and we are working very hard to ensure that this pupil will resume with us September.
We have about 66,055 that they are going to write the exam this morning. Although we may have additional, but those ones you can call them the late registration. Government is the one that provides everything, including the material and everything.
There were no cases of examination irregularities in all the places monitored by NTA's news crew. Abdulwahid Bibiri, NTA News.
A non-governmental organization that focuses on supporting physical and psychological well-being of the less privileged in Nigeria, CareShare, has extended the free medical services to workers and inmates of the Kwara State Children Reception Center and other welfare homes in Ilorin. About 70 children and adults are benefiting from the medical outreach. Abdulhafiz Alayas report is here presented. Inmates and workers from Gakambi Children Reception Center, Amoyo Rehabilitation Center and Okwiri Remand Home benefited from a free medical checkup. Blood pressure, glucose level, malaria and other medical examinations were conducted while free medication and treatment were offered to beneficiaries. Dr. Rashid Oyebola, a family health physician from the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital, led the medical team.
I've been seeing more of the upper respiratory tract infection, malaria cases, majorly those are the cases. Then there are a few cases of, I think there is a case of cerebral palsy that I've seen. Then I saw another case of congenital malformation, which we are also looking at. We have discussed with the people involved, so we are going to take those cases up.
CareShare is shifting the paradigm of humanitarian services from purely material support to supporting the government in meeting the health needs of the indigent in order to make them productive members of the society.
If at the end of the day we see a more complicated illness, or we see something that in the next few months or 5 years it will be more severe, the doctor in charge will recommend for further medications, so that it will not be a bigger liability on the government and the IDP or home or the needy home. So that's why we bring in a more expert.
The free medical outreach, according to the Kwara State government, which is the custodian of the children welfare homes, is first of its kind and a gesture worthy of commendation.
We have the orphans who have lost both parents. We have the abandoned. We have children of mentally challenged and others. They are all benefiting from this program.
Really appreciate Care Share by experience type of this program here. If this program can be coming once in a year, it has to go a long way to know their status.
Care Share is a non-governmental organization funded by like-minded Nigerians with a passion to support the physical and emotional well-being of the less privileged people in all parts of the country. 18 nominees submitted by Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak to the House of Assembly of Kwara State for screening as commissioners have been confirmed by the legislators. The report. The confirmation is in consonance with Section 182, subsections 1 and 2 of the 1999 Constitution. The 18 confirmed commissioners are Dr. Amina El-Imam, Ofa, Folashade Okpeyemi, Ekiti, Abdulkawi Olododo, Ilorin East, Olaitan Buraima Abosede, Oyun, Senior Ibrahim Suleiman, Ilorin West, Awanu, Ilorin West, Ali Kora Sabi, Barutin. Others are Dr. Shegun Ogunshola, Ifelodun, Abdulaziz Kola, Asa, Abdullahi Bata, Kayama, Saadatu Modibo Kau, Ilorin South, Shehu Ndanusa, Edu, Dr. Mary Arinde, Okero, Bolanle Olukoju, Irekodun, Oluwatoyosi Thomas, Isin, Usman Yunusa, Patigi, Damlola Yusuf, Isin, and John Bello, Moro Local Government Area. The legislators also confirmed Jamila Adamu Bake from Barutin as Commissioner, Kwara State Civil Service Commission. Speaker Yakubu Dala Disalu thereafter directed Clerk of the House, Abdul Karim Ahmed, to communicate the confirmation of the commissioners to Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak. From the House of Assembly of Kwara State, we now take our background report on the inauguration of the 12-member committee on the distribution of palliatives by Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak in the state by Abdulafiz Alaya, which will lead us to the discussion segment.
Chaired by the State Commissioner of Police, Eboluwarotimi Adelisi, the committee is to, among other things, reach out to different stakeholders to generate a list of beneficiaries and coordinate the distribution of the rice palliative in 10 kg bags. Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, while inaugurating the committee, said the palliative is only one of the many steps the government has taken to relieve people of the difficulties arising from the fuel subsidy removal and strengthen the economy. He commended members of the committee for accepting to serve the state, urging them to make Kwara a shining example by making sure the palliatives reach the target population in all parts of the state.
It's important to clarify that food palliatives are only a stopgap measure to show empathy and reach out to the people, especially the most vulnerable ones amongst us. We have set up this committee to make the process of distributing the palliatives a non-partisan, transparent, participatory, and to be as credible as possible. We trust your judgment and commitment to make the palliatives to reach the nearest and furthest parts of our states.
Speaking on behalf of the committee, Commissioner of Police, Eboluwarotimi Adelisi, thanked the governor for finding the members worthy of the assignment, with a promise to justify the confidence reposed in them.
We are not going to let the governor and the state down. We put into consideration the people who are supposed to be giving this palliative, the deserving people. We are going to do our very best, and from time to time, like I read in the terms of reference, we are going to abide by it and ensure that we come clean with the public to let them know what we are doing.
The time frame for the assignment will be determined by different factors, such as the receipt of the balance of 2 billion naira from the federal government, which will then be used to purchase new consignments of the foodstuffs. Abdulafiz Alaya, NTA News.
You're welcome to the discussion segment of Weekend Report. Our topic of discuss tonight is the distribution of palliatives by the state government to cushion the effects of subsidy removal. My guest is in the studio. He is Shola Muse, a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, listening. Yes.
And moving on to the discussion now. The state government recently inaugurated the Palliatives Committee, chaired by the Commissioner of Police, to generate a list of beneficiaries and coordinate distribution of 10 kilogram bags of rice worth 2 billion naira to the vulnerable. How do you think this can help reduce the effect of subsidy removal?
By my own opinion, it's a very good step taken by the government, but it cannot be a solution. The reason is simple. It's like I look at it as a kind of second-class cloth. I cannot even probably go far in assisting the vulnerables. It's just an emergency step, at least to cushion the effect of that subsidy. But there is need to probably look for a way, invoke a strategy that will make people believe that the effect of the subsidy removal is not much felt, by at least allow some institution, allow the people to benefit from certain institutions. It's not about giving rise to all these things that probably quell the situation. You agree with me that after giving you food, there are other things that are really giving the masses a kind of pain, like the education, the health. I'm expecting that even along the line, when you are saying that, okay, we are giving you food as small as it is, because it cannot be enough. The hunger and the poverty in the land is so pronounced that this kind of step cannot even ameliorate much. But what I'm saying in essence is that reduce the school fees for the students, right, to have positive effect on the parents. Reduce money used for people attending hospitals as per health institutions. You get it? Then make sure that workers' salary has somehow elevated. Those are the area. You see, when you distribute rice, it can only solve instantly the problem of feeding, not all the feeding problem. But there are other areas that are really pinching people.
Now, you talked about governments making sure that people benefit from some institutions. You mentioned education and health.
Yes.
What other institutions do you think that government can make people benefit from to cushion further the effects of
yes,
subsidy?
apart from, I'm telling you that even if you look at if there's no distribution error, and they say, okay, we are going to, like the one they did in the past, there were a lot of reactions on it, where people are getting very little things. I cannot imagine somebody who is probably having a wife or two and some children. That one might not be enough. But what I'm saying in essence is that how would they determine the poorest of the poor? That's why I say they have to at least invoke a lot of strategy. It's not about taking, the other time I was critical of it that you are taking rice to mosque. I do want to tell me it's only Muslims that are feeling hungry in this dispensation. The Christians too are even feeling hungry. Well, that is not even supposed to be the distribution mode. The timing, you have to get data of those people.
It's part of the responsibilities of the committee.
This is what I'm saying. If you look at the committee, I don't want to be much critical about the committee in the sense that when you want to distribute something for the people, I was just looking at it when you have Commissioner of Police as chairman. You get it? I begin to ask the government, is Commissioner of Police here for security or for distribution of food? How will she get to the root of people?
She is there to ensure that it is done properly, and that some people do not corner these things. Politicians do not corner it.
You have to get a database. Get a database of who is the poorest of the poor. Like the one they distributed in the last, I was asking one Magaji that how did you distribute this one? He said they have not been able to determine the poorest of the poor. I said, now let me tell you, how many so you say about 3 plastics of rice. I said, look, the fact that you don't give them, if you eat it, you are going to add to your problem the more, because it's not meant for you. And this is the area you have to be. It's a co-base. What I mean by co-base is a community-based scheme where you have to look at who and who are really in need, who and who are vulnerable.
All right, sir. The government is also planning on distributing maize and fertilizers. How do you think this can help improve farm produce, thereby reducing the prices of grains in the market?
It's the same method, same methodology. You want to distribute grain, you want to distribute fertilizer. How will you not give grains and fertilizer to the big guns? How will you identify those people who can even make impact, that can bring this product to the market for general benefit? You get it? We have seen in the past where they said they send fertilizer and the money buyers will be buying the fertilizers. Not the real farmers are buying the fertilizer. So there is need for government to sit down via the committee and identify who are real farmers. We have two types of farmers. We have subsistence, we have commercial farmers. You get it? Identify them. We need commercial farmers this time around who will put this thing in order with a view to bring the product to the market for general benefit. You get it? So any policy, you see, I'm always critical about these government policies at times that get somersaulted at the end of the day. Because some policies somersault. If you don't have plan, you don't have database, you are not sure of how you want to go about it. That's why there is need for thorough finding on who and who should be given this one, so that the government will feel that we have done something and is impactful, positive.
All right, sir. Getting a database. What is your suggestions to the committee on how to get a database of those who are really the vulnerables?
Good.
Now, we are in the city. Let us also, while answering the question, I want you to consider those in the hinterlands too, those in the rural villages,
yes,
where a network might not even be as good as it's.
Yes.
We're here.
You see, when you want to get a database, you should realize that you have some target audience, the vulnerables that you want to, and there's no locality in the state that has no local head. There's no local head that does not know who and who are widows. That is the first people to be taken care of. The widows whose husbands are dead. You look at them, how do they fare in maintaining the home? Those are the people, those are the first set of people that you should consider. No local man, either Magaji, Alagua, or Oba, or anybody that could not identify who are widows in his domain. So these are should be the first audience of attention. So when you get this one, there's no way you give a widow, for example, half a bag of rice. You get it? That he will not be able to at least take care of the children. You understand what I'm saying? So in terms of this grain and all this, you find that even within the women, there are farmers. You make use of the local heads. Give us the data of the number of widows in your end. Give us the number of the people, sincerely, that you know are hands to mouth. Not somebody that could afford maybe half a bag of rice in a month. You are not the target of that scheme. Those people, there are some people now that don't have tables on their, foods on their table. There are people that are using formula of feeding. It's either 010 or 101. So there are people. For example, now, if the government say, give me the data of people in Ilorin West, I will do the survey. I will research and who. I will contact the magazines. Do you know Yalagbaja that is not well off, that is finding need to feed? You don't expect me to give me one bag of rice and I continue to, I start to put it at home. It's a cost.
All right. Last week I saw a video that went viral at Dewoli. Yeah. They said rice was shared and people got 1 or 2 cups.
Yes.
Is this true?
Yes, I got the clip too. That is what I mean by division error. That's what we call policy error. You want to give food to people, you should have the data of the target you want to give to. And that even, maybe that one convinced the government that that method they use was not successful. It's not effective. Because the man called all his communities to say this is what government gave us. Not even more than, it's not even up to 1/4 of a bag.
Yeah, I think it's about 1/4 of a bag.
So and you have over 200 people. If you see the clip, you see them surrounding the man, women especially. And you know, if the issue is more, the problem is more felt by women than men.
Why and how?
Good. Like I mentioned, widows now. In some family arrangement, it's unfortunate that when a woman's husband dies, the family will not even bother about the woman. And that is why you see a lot of things when you see a woman trying to make sure that she brings her children up. At the end of the day, the children will not be properly brought up because of the neglect of the family. I can see some area whereby when a woman's husband died, there will be somebody who is well off in that family that will take care of the education of the children. But it's not like that here. And we are saying that we are Muslims. That's why I say some people are so religious but not godly. We should be our brother's keeper. So when government now comes to say, okay, we want to do this, they should consider those type of women.
Aside widows.
Aside widows, you see, if you look at the arrangement, you can see that even men that would prefer feeding and all these things, it's not economically sound again, and it's telling on both the woman and the children. We have some people that have wives, liabilities as their wives. What do we want to talk about? Then somebody that government gives food to and is the poorest of the poor, that one will relieve even the husband in doing other things. Government cannot give them rice and give them money for tomato or money for meat now. There are other things. There are some adjusted things that they have to use to. But all things being equal, like I just suggest that this palliative of a thing should be taken beyond giving people food.
So what else should government do?
I say they should subsidize education. They should subsidize health. And the government is even putting problem on, pressure on the parents. If, as we are saying now, you see, I'm always critical of the people in the position of authority. As we are saying now, there are people that cannot afford the school fees of their children because of the situation on ground. But if we have people in position of authority that has empathy with the poor, things will not be like that. But it will continue to be like this because when we were in the primary school and secondary school, we were together in a classroom with the children of the poor and the rich. But it's not like that today. People in position of authority are sending their children overseas, even with our collective treasury. You get it? So you can see all this kind of thing. Leadership is about empathy.
All right, you've mentioned that it shouldn't just be about distribution of palliative.
Yes.
Now, what then should be a permanent solution? I want you to consider our refineries.
Yes, there will be I think what they are trying to say is a long-lasting solution.
Yes, the long-lasting solution.
Calamities.
Yes, so that we don't talk about palliatives again.
You see, I think the situation now has even taught the government a lot of lessons that there is need to put in place the refineries. I was made to understand that of Port Harcourt refinery is getting to end by December.
By December, yes, it will be.
Other refineries are very important to be touched. Very important, and unfortunately, they will, if not the situation that even force government to say that they have to take care of one, which they have to take care of others. They have promised that they are going to make repair of the refineries when Buhari was coming on board. What was the result? You get it? There should be sincerity of purpose. Those of us that they are ruling are not goats. We are entitled to better life. We are entitled to all the amenities. You see, that is why I'm always critical about most of the things accrue to our leaders that are not accrue to the citizens. You get it? When you see, we have them there now. Those who are taking, who are governors in the past, and they are taking pensions. They are either ministers or in the Senate. They are still taking pensions. But whereas people who have put them there are suffering. For example, those people who retired after spending 35 years in service, they don't get what most of the leaders get throughout their 35 years in what the leaders get in 30 days. These are the areas by which we have to watch. We have to check that, look, if you are a leader, you should be exemplary. If I tell you to be patient, you must not see me ostentatious.
All right, sir, rounding off now. What's your advice to the would-be beneficiaries of the palliatives and the state and federal government on subsidy removal? I
don't know what advice I will give the beneficiaries of this palliative, because by my research, it cannot be enough even to tell them that they should manage what they give them. It is what is enough that is manageable. What is not enough is not manageable now, because if you give me rice today, and even if you give me half a bag of rice, it's not enough. How many of us take rice?
So we're rounding off now. You have 1 minute more.
So the best thing is that they should. I have no advice for the beneficiary now, but they should all just appreciate that at least they have a government in place that thinks something must be done. You get it? That's the appreciation. But they should still come up to give some government suggestion on how to give them permanent solution to this calamity.
All right, so I would like to tell you thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very
we
much.
hope one day to call on you.
Yeah, by God's power.
And moving on to entertainment now. God's Will Power Good Luck Uswaga, also known as Legacy, is rolling out a brand new single it calls Osato. Tanitoluwa Agbayin has details of this and more from the world of entertainment.
The Edo-born singer, driven by an undeniable passion for music, found solace in singing at church due to his dad's influence, and he has always had strong belief in his music's global reach. His music journey began in 2008, marked by his first single and subsequent involvement in music production. He has had experiences with record labels, eventually joining Winway Records and releasing songs through them, including Osato, which Julu, handling the principal photography. Tanitoluwa Agbayin, NCA News.
And now sports. Former Super Eagles goalkeeper Peter Rufai has staked his claim for the Super Eagles goalkeeping job. Here is the details of this and more on Sports Update. Rufai is reputed to be one of the best goalkeepers to have come out of Nigeria. The 59-year-old has made 65 appearances for 3-time African champions. The former Lokrin goalkeeper has never been involved with the national team since retirement from the national team. Another Nigerian team who will also be in action in the CAF Champions League is Remo Stars. In their first leg tie with Ghanaian club Medima, Remo lost 1-0. Sports Update concludes our package on News Tonight. Good evening.
For more news and programs, you can visit our website on www.ntailorin.com.ng. Download the NTA Ilorin app from Google Play Store on your Android devices. You can also watch our news on NTA Ilorin YouTube channel.